okay with that. Come on, guy. I mean, it's I don't know if it's this league that gets people to completely check out on being rational. I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, literally, if I was a player in the first, I'd be like, no, they got to go because they're involved in another league and it makes us all look bad. You know, there ought to be representation on those.
Caitlin Clark commands one of basketball's most varied supporter bases globally. This shouldn't surprise anyone considering basketball's worldwide reach and her status among the sport's elite performers. From Uganda to Australia to Ireland, people wear her jersey. The game transcends borders, and she represents a globally recognized figure within the sport. This reality carries obvious significance and deserves acknowledgement. When she faced Brazil in competition, their entire squad lined up for photographs with her. The Indiana Fever organization recently shared a social media post addressing this topic.
You know, there ought to be representation on those committees that are not involved in any other league, at least in the United States. Here we are. So, one of the people that makes a comment or a statement on what they think is going on here echoes what I said. I think it's very likely that they wanted this authorization, a vote on authorization to strike to be.
The timing appears deliberate, coming after renewed discussions suggesting their supporters consist solely of prejudiced Americans. Sue Bird's podcast reignited this controversial narrative. The post asked fans to identify their locations on World Basketball Day. Responses flooded in from Ohio, Florida, and Slovenia. One viewer mentioned watching every Fever contest live while never tuning into Dallas or Lakers broadcasts. The summer timing matters significantly. School holidays allow younger audiences, students, and educators more flexibility.
Authorization, a vote on authorization to strike to go public. So the players look tough. And then at the 11th hour, they are going to get with Adam Silver and they're going to sign whatever deal is on the table. We found out the other day from a very smart guy by the name of David Sampson, a sports business guru. He come out and said that issue of revenue sharing is dead. It's not going to happen. And the NBA, the owners are not going to agree to it.
Irish fans mentioned staying awake until 1 to 2 a.m. for broadcasts. Some wait even later depending on time zone differences and game delays. Brazil appeared in responses, along with Philippines representation. The Philippines represents a basketball-obsessed nation. Chile featured the players' logo. Rwanda and Puerto Rico chimed in. Saudi Arabia appeared.
It's not going to happen, and the NBA, the owners are not going to agree to it. And that the women would comply if they wanted to play ball. Otherwise, they would fold the league. Wow. And I mean, they simply are not going to give that up. The owners. So this was put out by Alexa Philippou over at ESPN. Why did the players authorize a strike vote? WNBA PA President Nike Aguma.
Someone noted Athens, Ohio's existence. Ethiopia joined the list. Multiple countries repeated. Mexico, Chile again, Cardiff, Puerto Rico again, Singapore, South Africa, and Ghana. Basketball truly operates as a global sport. The post seemingly responds to the podcast controversy, comment sections filled with people challenging the narrow characterization of the fan base. One podcast guest admitted not watching games despite claiming support for women's basketball.
Nike Agumake described the vote as, quote, a symbol of our unity and the confidence that we have in each other to be able to give ourselves some level of authority in these negotiations. But we also deem the move to give ourselves as much leverage as possible to get a good deal done. So she just told you this is a public symbol of look at us. We are women, hear us roar.
When pressed about actual viewing habits, she confirmed avoiding games while maintaining she supported the cause generally. This hypocrisy frustrates genuine supporters. People claiming Swedish fans stay awake until 5 a.m. specifically because they hate women's basketball represents absurd logic. The Fever boasts the world's most diverse supporter community. The Philippines especially embraces basketball culture deeply. One supporter mentioned starting their fandom in Bangkok, Thailand after attending a 2013 event, originally from Manila. The thread's length and diversity speaks volumes, though skeptics remain unmoved.
Our women hear us roar, they're going to end up signing a deal. I mean, but they look strong because they threw it out there that they're willing to strike. A decision on whether to strike is now in the hands of the 150 plus players, but they give it up, it's not in the hands of the 150 plus players, but in the hands of the 7-player WNBPA executive committee.
Even if Clark sold out a 30,000-seat Swedish venue in seconds, certain critics would maintain their narrative. A particular segment of legacy media and longtime observers would still claim racist Americans somehow traveled to Sweden. These same critics suggested Ugandan children wearing team gear received it from Americans without understanding what they wore, despite those children discussing watching her collegiate career at Iowa. Outside America, basketball fandom centers purely on basketball. Perhaps American dynamics differ, but internationally, people follow players strictly for athletic reasons. When thousands across Europe and Asia stay awake until 1 to 3 a.m. watching one specific player, it represents something remarkable. Irish audiences haven't demonstrated this behavior since Stephen Curry's 2016 Warriors peak.
150 plus players, but in the hands of the 7-player WNBPA executive committee. So it's in the hands of the committee. It's amazing to me. This means we could strike if we need to, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we want that to happen. But we have it in our arsenal in order to get us exactly what we need, which is a fair deal that represents our value in a very meaningful way. Again, keep in mind, they're staring at essentially, let me just
geographic diversity, racial diversity, gender diversity, and age diversity all characterize this supporter base clearly. Documentation exists extensively through social media engagement, attendance records, merchandise sales, and viewing patterns across continents. Yet certain voices dismiss or reinterpret this information to maintain predetermined conclusions. Media coverage quality affected the league's struggles historically. Poor basketball analysis and inadequate promotion contributed to limited growth. Even knowledgeable basketball minds produce substandard coverage specific to this league. The defensive posture from some quarters now seems counterproductive when unprecedented growth opportunities exist.
They're staring at essentially, let me just do some math. Times 7. Okay, let's see. Times 8. They are staring at an 8 times max salary increase by the end of this new proposed deal. So by the end of, let's say the deal is a 3-year deal or whatever, by the end of that 3 years, it would be an 8 times salary increase.
The fundamental question centers on whether international appeal and diverse demographics receive appropriate recognition. Evidence overwhelmingly supports global reach. Supporters sacrifice sleep across multiple time zones regularly. They navigate expensive shipping and import complications. They engage passionately across language barriers and cultural differences. Basketball's universal language connects people regardless of nationality or background. Athletic excellence transcends politics and demographics.
Thing, right? So, finally, on Christmas, by the way, Merry Christmas. Hope you guys are having a great one, a safe one. And, if you're partaking, not too much. Maybe some eggnog. Maybe some Crown Royal and Coke. Oh, never mind. Did I transform for a second? Did somebody say drink Tito's? That's hilarious because I think I've had 2 beers all year. Anyway,
one player's extraordinary talents created unprecedented international interest in a league that desperately needed broader appeal. Rather than celebrating this achievement, certain segments focus on delegitimizing the fanbase through unfounded characterizations. The Fever organization's decision to highlight geographic diversity appears strategic. Demonstrating worldwide support directly counters narrow narratives about supporter motivation. When fans from 6 continents engage enthusiastically, reducing that phenomenon to American prejudice requires willful blindness. Ultimately, whether this changes broader conversations remains uncertain. Entrenched perspectives resist contrary evidence stubbornly.
That's hilarious because I think I've had 2 beers all year. Anyway, I did used to partake a good bit, though. So today, this is dropped on Christmas. They waited to Christmas. I assume this will probably come out during NBA basketball today. Caitlin Clark's quote from Anywhere Nike ad features Travis Scott and the Kelsey brothers. They are in this ad. We're one step closer to Caitlin Clark's signature shoe unveiling, but before that, the moment has arrived in 2026.
Samson currently co-hosts a business-focused sports program alongside John Skipper, the former CEO of ESPN. During his appearance on the Dan Le Batard Show, his commentary about the negotiations was remarkably blunt. The timing of these discussions came shortly after news broke about the Players Association strike authorization vote. Simultaneously, league ownership presented a fresh proposal to the players. According to Samson's assessment, if the players reject this latest offer, they would be making a catastrophic mistake. There's no justification for declining it, particularly when examining the final year projections. By the conclusion of the proposed deal, maximum salary players would earn approximately $2 million, comparable to what certain competing leagues are offering.
Signature shoe unveiling. But before that, the moment has arrived in 2026. Nike has released the first official spot centered around the women's basketball superstar. Travis Scott, the Kelsey brothers, Michael Che is in it from SNL. Lisa Bluder is in it. It's hilarious. She's in it. Stephanie White's not. I love it. I love it. From Anywhere channels, the bravado of Clark's fearless game and sets the table for the Indiana Fever star.
The minimum salaries proposed also represent substantial increases from current levels, making the overall package quite generous. However, the central issue appears to revolve around revenue-sharing structures. If players genuinely insist on a specific type of revenue-sharing arrangement, Samson warned that they won't receive it, and ownership might simply shut down the league entirely. When asked about the consequences of players refusing to compromise on revenue distribution versus accepting a fixed financial structure, Samson suggested the WNBA could cease operations altogether. He explained that players will ultimately yield on this demand, because insisting on it makes little strategic sense currently. The Players Association made a critical error by declaring this their defining moment, placing enormous pressure on themselves to achieve dramatic changes in the collective bargaining agreement. The more effective approach involves securing incremental improvements across multiple negotiating cycles rather than demanding everything simultaneously.
Channels the bravado of Clark's fearless game and sets the table for the Indiana Fever star to join the esteemed society of Nike signature shoes. So let's just go over here and we will watch this together. It's a good commercial, I think. It's certainly better than that bullshit Asia Wilson commercial.
Hey, Caitlin! Can you make it from there?
This strategy seems particularly misguided for an organization that has never generated profit throughout its existence. The logical path forward would involve accepting substantial salary increases now, then revisiting compensation structures in 3 years after ownership actually experiences profitability for the first time, thanks to the newly negotiated media rights agreements. Allowing ownership to actually collect returns on their investment makes practical sense, especially considering owners' expectation to recoup years of accumulated losses. This debt represents real financial obligations that ownership feels entitled to recover. By pursuing every possible demand simultaneously, the Players Association has cornered itself into a position where anything less than total victory appears like significant defeat. The pressure they've created for themselves could prove counterproductive.
Can you make it from there? Hey, Caitlin, how about from here?
Come on, guys.
She can't make it. No chance.
Caitlin, conmigo, let. You got it.
I'm not even gonna ask.
Hey, Caitlin from here might be impressive. Am I right?
Whatever, Che.
Come right here.
From anywhere.
Sampson made an alarming prediction: the WNBA could actually fold. He emphasized that insufficient attention is being paid to this possibility. The discussion extended to alternative leagues, including Project B, where players are receiving multi-million-dollar salaries to compete internationally. Skipper's involvement with Unrivaled adds another dimension to these considerations. This represents the ideal moment for any well-funded investor wanting to establish a competing league. Every WNBA player technically becomes available, all seeking and needing financial compensation.
From anywhere.
All right, well, looks like she can do it.
All right. So there you have it. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike on some miscellaneous song I've never heard of in the background playing, but I think it's a good ad. I do. It's going to be interesting to see the reception of this. It literally came out. Let's just take a look. Some fan reaction has come out. It came out 1 hour ago on YouTube. Let's just take a look. Some fan reaction has come out. It came out 1 hour ago on YouTube. Look who got her own Nike commercial on Xmas. Good for her. Fire. About time. Yeah, it's about time. It's about time. Perfection. She should have already had a shoe ready. Yeah, before she even played her first game. Now, this reminds me of the hype that Michael Jordan got. Yeah. And I think everybody's ready. They feel like Michael Jordan got. Yeah. And I think everybody's ready. They feel like that her branding, her being injured, hurt all kinds of things last year, right? But she's fully healthy. And now she's involved with USA Basketball. And, of course, the season is coming up, we hope. Boy, they better not strike. That'd be the worst move in the history of bad moves. Tell me what you think. Caitlin finally